The posting and circulation of art and further posting memes created by artists that usually last for a week or more is nothing new. There's a classic aspect of Rage comics and now Wojaks that will last for a few years at a certain era of the internet. There's the weekly to monthly circulation of animation memes or art memes and trends like Draw This in Your Style, the Sad Cat meme, strip games, the Among Us forum, and more that aren't coming to mind at the moment. However, there's also the reposting of art as memes, even when the original intent of the work wasn't comedic. An easy example from off the top of my head is Shen's bike theft comic from a few years ago. But what if the subject being turned into a laughing matter is an artist's genuine frustration with being an artist online? Enter this comic by BlueBottleFlyer. Here in this comic, we see an artist showcasing their new creation to the world via social media, where people's attentions and love are spread across different trends, fan art, and NSFW artwork. And with no sort of recognition of their work present, they feel as if they might as well give up. While you probably have a response to this mindset, as do I, it's important that we recognize and address the circumstances of this general feeling, and then a specific situation before we get to the resolution. To begin with the feeling, if you're an artist posting on a new social media platform, or at least have been posting on one for years and aren't seeing any growth or substantial numbers to your counterparts, you will begin to feel a slight wonder as to why you're not there with them. Even if you're creating art for yourself, once you're posting it publicly on social media, the reality is that you're also posting it for everyone else to see, to share it publicly. This is even further the case if you want this to be your career, a lifelong venture. Every artist is one amongst the millions, but within those millions are some very popular artists. Of course, many are those that have built up their popularity from being established in the industry by having their own career, like being an animator, comic artist, or showrunner, being a teacher, having original works that resonate with a large audience, or they've been doing this for a decade plus and built their audience across that long time. But there are also thousands of drawings a week that are a mix of fan art of very popular franchises and NSFW art. And usually it's a combination of both. Hell, I remember there was this week where brand new NSFW art accounts got popular from just making slime girls. It was very strange and people kept calling it a psyop. But sex sells. This is nothing new. Thus, I hope you understand where someone's potential targeted disdain and or worthlessness in their own art can arrive from. Hell, I'd say most of us in this long and ongoing age of posting our art online have had a similar feeling that we can't compete with fan art and NSFW art in terms of getting our own original work seen. I've even seen artists that just begun creating NSFW art have their account blow up while their OG Safer Work art account is small in comparison. This is where we'll move on to the specifics of BlueBottleFlyer's comics, expressing this frustration. From the screenshots, you can already see that there are supportive comments. Speaking from personal experience, it's possible that these statements and thoughts were already considered by Blue Bottle, but the frustration was still present. Thus, when still faced with that frustration, it doesn't help when the internet then begins to rag on you and turn you into this week's joke. While I won't place all of the blame onto this person specifically, as there were negative comments and replies of Blue Bottle's original tweet, and he announced he'd be taking a break a whole day before the tweet I'm about to bring up, I do still think this person contributed to a lot of the mockery that was being targeted towards Blue Bottle. Enter Genk and his 2 redraws of the comic. For honesty's sake, I am a fan of Genk's work, and I do specifically praise him in his resurgence of interest in a very old comic strip character, Zhushka. However, I must criticize him here because I do find his actions here to be very disrespectful and knowingly so. Aside from his direct mockery of Blue Bottle's frustration and then promoting his own works off of it, I think where the additional harm comes is in his direct calling for other artists to redraw the comic in their style. In fact, I'll skip a bit forward to the response I gave to a quote retweet that he quickly deleted. On a quote retweet of Genk's redraw, user Verdicia stated, "I made a comment about it already, but I guess I'll just quote retweet. Stop shitting on this dude. Seriously, he made a cringe comic about his frustrations with art and how difficult it can be for someone who makes original content to get people to notice what you make." Although not deleted, from what I remember, the bare basis of Genk's quote retweet response was, "You're lacking in media literacy and analysis, but I haven't insulted or shat on this person at all." To which I responded with this, I'll show on screen, but I'll elaborate even further since I'm not limited by 240 characters. Genk, although I do agree that this person's analysis of the comic is lacking, and you did compliment the dude's work by saying the framing of the comic is well done, especially in the last panel, which I would also agree with, to say that you didn't say an insult doesn't mean you're not shitting on him. You mocked him by recreating his Vent comic, told others to draw it in their style, thus increasing the pile-on, and also used it to promote yourself. I wouldn't state that you're at full blame for how everyone decided to do it in their style, but they have joined in mocking Blue Bottle due to your calling for it. You encourage making the dude into a meme, a trend, and for others to do so as well. You gotta think about how that affects him emotionally. The reason why I state Genk knowingly mocked him, despite his now deleted tweet praising the original comic, is because he deleted the current retweet stating that he didn't insult the dude after myself and some others criticized his actions. Not saying that we were the exact catalyst, but the perspective of the event from my eyes looks very evasive. But this is not to say that I don't have criticisms of Blue Bottle's comic. As stated earlier, I do understand the sentiment, and while it also portrays a disdain towards the situation, I think this also implies or can create a disdain towards other artists and the works that they create, whether it be trends, fan art, or NSFW artwork. We all have our own focuses and purposes of drawing, and even if there is a dislike towards someone else's work, you can either disengage in viewing it, or try to have a genuine conversation if you do find something wrong with it. Not only that, but even artists that are now popular were once in the same position or mindset as Blue Bottle. Yes, they're in a different position now as they're popular, but in the end we all have the same intent and purposes, to create and share our works. The potential to get well known will always be there, but when and if we reach that will always vary. Hell, it's even kind of ironic that this was what got him popular given the subject matter. But no matter what, artists big or small, tearing down one another won't do any good. Rather, we should be picking one another up either in liking and sharing one another's works, or assisting one another when we have problems by providing criticism and talking it out. And it does make me happy to see that some people did decide to pick up Blue Bottle by empathizing with his feelings and redrawing the comic with a continuation of supporting his works, rather than put him down. If you like Blue Bottle's works, check him out. Hell, even though I disagree with Genk's actions, he still is a really good artist, so check him out as well. Like all artists, we still have space and time to grow into better creatives. Thank you for watching, and if you're an artist yourself looking to get your work seen, share it down in the comments below. With whatever future videos I create, I like to promote and encourage growth of your art alongside my own.